In the headlines, Barbados Prime Minister holds bilateral talks with the U.S. Secretary of State. Maritime security strengthened through a multi-million-dollar injection into the regional security system. More reaction to the shooting death of a 13-year-old boy. And in sports, St. Michael and Combermere have the day one leads at BSSAC.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pines, St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tisha Hines. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has engaged in bilateral talks with the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Ms. Motley was among Caribbean leaders in Jamaica to meet the top U.S. official. A release from the U.S. State Department says the two discussed the strong historic ties between the United States and Barbados. Secretary Rubio underscored the Trump administration's commitment to supporting Barbados and all CARICOM member states in countering transnational threats, including by designating the Venezuelan criminal network Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization consistent with their domestic authorities. Secretary Rubio and Prime Minister Motley discussed regional security efforts, such as the U.S. partnership with Barbados under the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, with efforts focused on countering illicit narcotics and firearms trafficking, prosecuting transnational organized crime, and strengthening regional security cooperation. Talks also focused on energy cooperation, with Prime Minister Motley making an economic case for the region premised on energy. Prime Minister Motley was also commended for her leadership in the effort to stabilize Haiti. Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of State has reassured Barbados and CARICOM that their concerns that President Donald Trump's plan to revitalize America's shipbuilding industry through a proposed fee on Chinese vessels will be raised with the relevant trade policy officials on his return. He insists the U.S. does not want a trade war, but says there must be alternatives to Chinese shipping construction. The commitment was given on his visit to Guyana.
And I'm the first one to admit that the United States made a terrible mistake when we deindustrialized and we allowed all these industries to leave our country and go to other places. Now we're paying the consequences, but we have to fix it. So I do believe, I can't speak, the trade portfolio does not belong to the Department of State, but I do believe that we will take this back because we've heard this not just here, Mr. President, we've heard it throughout our visits here in the Caribbean, and we're going to take it back and explain to those who are in charge of trade policy that there are some implications to applying it to certain nations who are partners and who are seeking to develop their economies in ways that I think serve the national interest of the United States, not to mention the national interest of our partner nations, and see what can happen.
The U.S. also committed to ensuring the region does not fall to organized gangs and narco-traffickers that destabilize societies. Rubio says the U.S. will seek opportunities to partner with the region.
But the basic element of any of this, the basic element of progress and transformation and prosperity is always security. So number one, we want to make sure that some of the tragic regional problems that exist with crime, transnational crime, we have a huge problem in the world right now with organized gangs and narco-traffickers that destabilize societies. We want to make sure that never reaches here. And that's why today's MOU and the work we'll do together is designed not to stop it, but to prevent it from ever taking root, from ever finding its way here. Because unfortunately, sometimes crime is attracted by prosperity and targets prosperity. And the other are regional threats.
The regional security system has received just over $1 million to boost maritime security to ultimately aid in securing the region's blue economy. And training will be available to all maritime law enforcement units and other interested stakeholders in the RSS sub-region and the wider Eastern Caribbean territories. This is a culmination of 7 years of collaboration between the USA and the RSS. Rachel Agard has more on that story.
The regional security system now has its own logistics hub as the first maritime center of excellence in the Eastern Caribbean. Both were donated by the United States government. RSS Executive Director, Rear Admiral Arrington Sherland says this hub will enable logistics efficiency, effectiveness, and optimization of resources throughout the supply chain.
The RSS Logistics Hub will be equipped with the appropriate technology to aid with the management, inventory control, tracking, and general administrative support using the Manager Plus software, informing a vital link between the member states and the TAF headquartered in Miami.
He says it is no secret the vast challenges faced by the region in the maritime space, and in an effort to always have personnel at the ready, focus has been placed on maritime training, in particular engineering as well as diving, which he says is a diminishing skill within the member states.
The training to be delivered at this facility will see a partnership with Mercury Marine and TAF to deliver engine-specific training. I must share with you that the concept has grown from an idea of having a portable classroom fitted in a Connex box, basically a container, to the preparation of architectural drawings for the construction of the facility over to my right to house the Center of Excellence for Maritime Training at a cost of Barbados $1.26 million.
U.S. Chargé d'Affaires to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Karen Sullivan, says projects such as these will address a shared interest while working towards a common goal for a safe, secure, and prosperous region.
Late last month, the U.S. Army's Western Hemisphere Institute for Security Cooperation completed a third iteration of non-commissioned officer professional development training in the Eastern Caribbean, utilizing the RSS Foreign Military Financing Training Case. Through this model of in-region training hosted by the RSS, together we've been able to triple the annual output of non-trained, non-commissioned officers at a fraction of the cost when compared to sending students to the United States. This is one of many other examples that illustrates the value of partnering with the regional security system.
Further opportunities for collaboration and cooperation between the U.S. and RSS will be explored to ensure the Eastern Caribbean remains safe and secure for all. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thank you, Rachel. And there's more reaction tonight to the death of 13-year-old Shonatan Chase, who was shot while watching a netball game at Silver Hill in Christchurch. The Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Charles Griffith, has described the shooting as a wicked act. In extending condolences to the family, he said he also visited the classmates at the Lodge School.
I visited the Lodge School today to speak to his classmates and to add support to all the support that is being provided for them. I saw hurt and pain personified on the faces of those youngsters at the Lodge School. I'm hoping that the police service can find these perpetrators in quick time and that they will be brought to justice. In my opinion, my personal view is that the punishment should match the crime. Again, I want to extend my sympathy to the family at Silver Hill.
In the wake of the shooting, Minister of Educational Transformation, Senator Chad Blackman, says he will be hitting the streets and having frank conversations with the island's youth. He says some of the discussions will be about reducing the violence on the island.
Over the coming days and weeks, I will be going to a number of communities across the country, also supported by other ministers, to speak to our young men and young women too, in a lot of what we call the vulnerable communities, and trying to really treat to a lot of the issues that are happening on the ground. Because if we want to particularly move forward as a country in growing our economy, our society, our communities, we have to ensure that every aspect of Barbados understands where we're going. And it can't be in a direction where most of us are going in one direction and another part is going another, because it's going to cause tension, it's going to cause a lot of derailing what we're trying to achieve.
Minister Chad Blackman says what he is about to embark on is significant, since the message needs to be clearly sent that there is no place for violence in society.
All of us pass through schools. All of us have families. All of us have mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles. And one death can rock a community. our country. And this morning is no different. And I just want to encourage all of us to really take pause, and stop it.
Meanwhile, local non-governmental organization Supreme Counseling for Personal Development wants everyone to play their part to counter crime and violence. Chief Executive Officer Sean Clark is also calling for greater collaboration between NGOs and the government to bring about change. Mr. Clark says every child lost to violence is a blow to Barbados.
The time for talk is over. Now is the time for action. Mentor a child. Support the organizations doing the work. Speak out when something feels wrong. Rebuild the community we once had. To our leaders, invest in counseling, youth programs, safe communities, and stricter gun laws. The time to act is now, not after the next tragedy. Let us honor that young man from Silver Hill, not just with grieving, not just with sorrow, but with change. Because if we don't fight for our youth now, there may be no future left to fight for.
Well, coming up, the importance of a support system for persons with disabilities highlighted. Former President of the Senate, the Most Honourable Kerry-Ann Eiffel, has highlighted the importance of a support system, including family, for the disabled Barbadian. She is proud of her accomplishments, including being the first totally blind person to graduate from the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill. She shared her story during the This Is My Story public lecture organized by the National Disabilities Unit held at the Tom Adams Financial Centre. Ms. Eiffel emphasized how critical it is to value individuals beyond their perceived limitations or differences. She says people with disabilities suffer from the low expectations of many.
Our society needs to provide an enabling environment. That is what I've had. That is what my pillars have given to me. The Anthony N. Sabga Award, the Order of the Freedom of Barbados, are all accolades that have been bestowed on me because my society provides an enabling environment that recognizes service, that recognizes determination.
Ms. Eiffel shared her fears and discussed how she overcame them.
I'm afraid to fly. I'm afraid of heights. But when I was at Combermere, I insisted on sitting on the top tier of the stadium stands. I'm afraid of jumping off things into nowhere, but I jump off a boat to learn to swim. My reason for sharing that isn't for you to go, wow. It is for you to know that having fear is a part of living. Having fear is a part of being a person. But do not let your fear put you in a corner. And that's what I don't do.
Students of St. Lawrence Primary School will benefit from a year-long lesson plan, which will teach them about hazards that could affect them, their school, and Barbados in general. The Department of Emergency Management has formed a closer association with the institution under its inaugural Adopt a School program. The DEM has designated March as Coastal Hazard and Earthquake Smart Month under the theme Building Resilience from Coastline to Community. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs and Information, Jennifer King, says the St. Lawrence Main Road Christchurch-based school has been selected to be a part of the program due to its close proximity to the coast, which makes it vulnerable to coastal hazards such as storm surge and tsunamis.
The Department of Emergency Management will assist the staff and the students of the St. Lawrence Primary in hazard identification, vulnerability analysis, and emergency planning to build a resilience to these institutions. Students, I know you want to know what this got to do with you. You will be exposed to tours, to agencies involved in disaster risk reduction, such as the Barbados Meteorological Services and the Coastal Zone Management Unit.
Principal Lorraine Gittins says the school welcomes the valuable and forward-thinking initiative.
Fostering a culture of preparedness at the school level and the involvement of DEM support in supporting the school in this year-long program will not only help our students to become better equipped to protect themselves and those around them, but to instill a deep sense of resilience as young learners. This in turn will extend to the community, thereby contributing significantly to the overall safety of all vulnerable populations.
The Sanitation Service Authority has raised concern over the practice by some householders of not using the recently issued garbage bins. Public Relations Officer Carl Padmore says some have resorted to simply placing the garbage on the ground for the SSA to remove. He wants such individuals to desist from the practice.
Your garbage, by law, it's in the Health Services Act, is to be set down in a suitable bin. If you do not have a government issue bin, we are saying to you, get a suitable bin, which you can purchase from a hardware store. You can even have it in a bucket, but it must be in a suitable bin. That bin is to be set down close to the sidewalk so that the SSA would have easy access to it. If the garbage is on the ground, that will pose a challenge for us because it exposes the garbage now to the element and also to the animal. We are urging Barbadians, therefore, to desist from this practice. You were given a bin for the purpose of keeping the surroundings clean.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
We know you've been waiting on it. It's time for sport with Mark Seal.
Very good evening. Of course, we're going to start with track and field. The St. Michael's School in the girls and Combermere in the boys are the leaders of the Dasani Powerade BSSAC finals after the penultimate day of the meet at the Usain Bolt complex today. St. Michael have a slender 5.5-point margin over Combermere, 179.5 to 174, while the Allen School are third on 148. Then in the boys, Combermere have a 13-point lead on Harrison College, 152 to 139, while the Lodge School are third on 121.5. First, let's look at some highlights from the 100-meter hurdles.
And they were cleanly, no recalls, and they're over the first hurdle. That's Thorn of Combermere, who's going really well. But in lane number 3 is Azari Edie. Edie is going really well. Edie is going to slam them here. Edie wins it. Azari Edie, comfortable indeed, wins the under-17 boys 100 hurdles. What a performance. Set. And there we're cleanly a second time of asking. Wonderful start from Alika Harewood. She goes over the second hurdle, the third at the 50-meter mark. It's Alika Harewood. Here comes Akaya Hunt. She's tracking them. It's a 1-2 for Combermere. It's a 1-2. It's going to be Alika Harewood. And getting home is Akaya Hunt. And there we're cleanly, wonderful start there in lane number 3 from Rashad Gibson, the Lord School. He's going well, but middle of the track. Christchurch Foundation, Mackay Clark, 16.08 coming through. But it's the Lord School, Rashad Gibson, who looks sharpest. He's going to clear them and win it just about now. Well done to the young man from the Lord School.
Now, the 4x100-meter relays lived up to expectations as Carifta selectees showed their speed.
The way this time, Coach and Parry, Harrison College Foundation, Combermere, Leicester Vaughan, Spring Memorial, the St. Michael's School, and then Ali, who will hand over first. Looks like the St. Michael's School, followed by Spring Memorial, then Ali in the midst as well. Combermere will have some work to do as we go to the second leg. They come through the back stretch. Who will hand over first? It looks like Combermere, followed by St. Michael, and then Ali. Those three will lead the final exchange. No, the St. Michael School in front, followed by Aline, and then Combermere, who will hand over first. It's the St. Michael School who lead, followed by Combermere, and then Foundation. This is the St. Michael School who will take the under-17 girls 4x1. St. Michael School, Martindale's Road, celebrate. Clean start this time. The under-17 boys 4x100-meter relay. Prince Parkinson, St. George, Alexandra, Queen's College, the Lodge School, Harrison College, St. Michael, and Coach and Parry. Who will hand over first? Corey Jampari looking strong. Running there in lane number 8. So too is College with work to do. Lodge trying to put up a fight, but it's Corey Jampari. They had a bit of an issue, so too is St. Michael. But here comes the Lodge School. The final exchange is all about Lodge. Harrison College will have some work to do, so too is Queen's College. Lodge will hand over first. It's a dangerous battle. Lodge and Queen's College, who will hold on. Queen's College is finishing fast, but it's all about the Lodge School. They will take it. Up they go. It's the penultimate race of the BSAC finals, day number 1. The under-20 girls 4x100 meter relay final. Who will hand over first? St. Michael's School looking good. So too is Combermere and Queen's College. There's been a mix-up for the SMS. The baton has dropped. Combermere are doing well down the back stretch. So too is Queen's College. They'll have some work to do, but it's Combermere who hand over first, followed by Queen's College. The final exchange. It's all about Combermere. Queen's College doing good. So too is Ali. And Naya Nurse will be on the ankle leg. But this is Alika Herwood with the baton in hand. Alika Herwood versus Naya Nurse. Here comes Naya Nurse for the Ali School. It's Naya Nurse. The Ali School of Glencoe in the under-20 girls 4x100 meter. The Usain Bolt Sports Complex. The crowd rolls. It's the final race for day 1 of the BSAC finals for 2025. The under-20 boys 4x1. Who will hand over first? Harrison College looking good. So too is Combermere on the back stretch. Corey Jampari is in the mix. So too is Christchurch Foundation. They will hand over first. One exchange to go. Combermere will have some work to do. Here comes Azari for Combermere. Who will hand over first? Combermere hand over first. Here is Christchurch Foundation. On the ankle leg is Foundation and Combermere. Foundation and Combermere. Christchurch Foundation. Dead and green. Oh my goodness.
Barbados' top female surfer Chelsea Tuak and the Burke brothers Josh and Jacob are all through to the round of 16 of the BTMI Barbados Surf Pro at the Soup Bowl in Bathsheba. Competing today in the round of 32, Tuak rode to a total of 14.33 and won heat number 2 with her best score reading 8.00.
Tuak up and riding in the red jersey. Nice little down carve up on the open face. Looking at this north section, she's going to get around it. Going vertical. Nice little tail slide as we check this replay.
All right, so here we are seeing Chelsea Chua getting her account open. Nice lip line glide, a little bit cautious, but then she goes into a nice wrapping turn. Makes her way around this heavy whitewater section, knowing that there's more chance to score on the inside. Another little bit of a check turn as she comes inside and now blows out the tail a little bit on that final wrapping maneuver.
Tuak is now the only local female left in the competition after Chelsea Roit was eliminated in Heat 1 with a 6.00 total. Tuak will be in Heat number 1 tomorrow. Meantime, Josh Burke finished just 0.49 points behind the Heat winner, Ryan Huckabee of the United States, in the men's round of 32. The homeboy posted a total of 14.37, with his best wave being his opening ride of 7.50.
On the outside, Josh Burke up and riding. On a nice looking wave, goes vertical up in the lip, drifts the fins out onto the open face, wrapping cut back. Working his way to the inside on a bigger wave, bigger set. Josh Burke continuing it onto the rip, looking for this finishing move. He does. A little chop hop, he's feeling it, folks.
Josh will be in Heat 2 tomorrow. Meantime, Jacob Burke was second in Heat 5 with a wave score of 10.96 behind the American Dylan Horde. Jacob's best wave was a 7.53.
He's going to pull the trigger on this. Here we go, Jacob Burke. He's got a nice section ahead of him, big down carve. Completes the maneuver out onto the open face. Nice wrapping cutback. He's going to slow down here, let this wave wall up for him. We're going to get a couple major maneuvers in on here. Nice little slash of the tail. He's going to look to finish it strong. Jacob Burke's going to get one more maneuver. And onto the inside, Jacob Burke.
Jacob will contest tomorrow's heat number 4. The other Barbadian male competitor, Louis St. John, was eliminated in heat 3 when he finished 4th with a 6.97 score.
The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Barbados is the third-ranked captive insurance jurisdiction in the Caribbean and among the top 10 in the world. The revelation from Chairman of the Financial Services Commission, Oliver Jordan, as he addressed the 5th Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lords Castle Resort today. He adds, however, that Barbados needs to transition to speed, efficiency and excellence in the global financial sector.
We're looking at issuing conditional approvals while conducting due diligence in parallel. And we'll also improve our communication with applicants, providing clear timelines and regular status updates to eliminate uncertainty. And I know that's been a bugbear. Second, we'll leverage current technology to streamline our processes. In this vein, we are excited to announce the upcoming rollout of a state-of-the-art application management system, which will digitize and automate key parts of the approval process. This platform, built with AI capabilities, will ensure only complete applications are submitted and reduce delays caused by incomplete submissions.
The conference goes into its final day tomorrow. Financial support is still strong for the Shafet Fund Run. That's the word from Chief Barker of Variety, the children's charity, Ryan Jones. He was speaking at the recent unveiling of this year's Shafet Fund Run in the Assad Halut Complex, Lear, St. Michael. As the organization in charge of disbursement of the funds to individual recipients, he says nothing would have been possible without generous sponsorship from local businesses. Trevor Thorpe reports.
Mr. Jones said the fund run and its co-sponsors provide a golden opportunity to continue the legacy of the late Dame Olga Lope-Seal, the first patron of the event. He said the main goal is to continue to raise much-needed funds that will allow the organizers to make meaningful donations to those in need.
The Auntie Olga Memorial Program run by Variety is in memory of Auntie Olga, and every year we help hundreds of kids, particularly in their school preparation. So this is helping them to get uniforms, to get food, to get supplies, to be able to go to school, to give them an equal opportunity for a brighter future. And it's only possible because of the generous donations from the Shafet Fund Run. So on behalf of those kids, I'd like to say a huge thank you to the management of Shafet Restaurants, to all of you sponsors, to all of the organizers, and to everyone who helps make the Fund Run possible and who's making it possible this year.
Assistant Marketing Manager at Hilton Barbados Resort, Bia Dottin, said the fun run is something uniquely Bajan and fits in with the resort's mandate.
We are confident that this year's fun run will be a resounding success, as this event plays a crucial role in bringing our community together, promoting healthy living, and fostering a sense of unity.
Marketing Director at Chitmont Food, Ethan DeFreitas, said his company is proud to be part of the Shafet Fun Run and to play their part in such a worthwhile initiative.
Here in Barbados, where we consume more than 10 million chickens per year, Chitmont Foods remains a family-oriented company that makes a real difference. We believe in creating a positive impact and fostering a healthier future for us all.
From the Sandy Lane Charitable Trust, trustee Pippa Chalice said the children need help and the assistance to them from the fun run will go a long way.
Children are the future of this wonderful island. With that loss last night, which just breaks my heart. Whether we are paying as the trust, we're dealing with anger management, whether we're dealing with gang resistance, but all of those things, these children cannot do it without our help.
The official T-shirt for the event, scheduled for June 8th, was also unveiled during the ceremony. The fun run will start at 4 p.m. from the Shafet Rockley branch and end at the Fontabelle branch.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Well, Mark Seal is back for another touch of sports. Welcome back, Mark.
Thank you very much. Tonight's final athlete in the spotlight is on the young man who won the 5,000-meter gold medal yesterday at BSSAC.
It's time for Athlete in the Spotlight. where we take a look at some of the track and field stars expected to dominate at the Powerade Dasani BSAC Championships. Sponsored by Powerade. Pause is power and Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. Our final competitor is a young man who seems destined for greatness. Luke McIntyre is a star in the making, who's extremely versatile competing in triathlon and athletics. He has already qualified for the Carifta Games in Trinidad and Tobago over the Easter weekend, and he describes this season as pretty good so far.
Personally, this has probably been my best season in athletics. From my first meet, I was able to qualify for Carifta Games, and that pretty much allowed me to experiment with some different events throughout the season. I run some personal bests in the 1500 and a couple other great times in the 5000 as well as trying out a few 800s.
How has training been for you?
Personally, I think I've been handling my workouts well. I would say that all my training has gone smoothly, no breaks for the season so far, and everything is getting better.
McIntyre, a student of Harrison College, has outlined what he had planned for BSAC and what's ahead for Carifta.
My goals for BSAC would just be to win both the 1500 and the 5000. I would say those are my concrete goals for BSAC right now.
And what about Carifta?
And Carifta, hopefully to win a medal for Barbados. The conditions should be good for me to run another personal best in the 5000. And based on the previous results, I think that could win me a medal if I was able to improve.
I asked Luke what sacrifices he makes to reach his goals.
My schedule is pretty much a sacrifice because I have to balance everything. So when I do a weekend and I choose to do a track meet instead of a swim meet and so on, those are all sacrifices, small, but they add up for athletics that I have to make. But it's about being consistent and so on, and just keeping focused is really the biggest sacrifice, you could say, to just keep me on my good journey for athletics.
McIntyre says he's also very appreciative of those who rally around him.
It's very helpful for me to have supportive parents, supportive sisters. The rest of my family, they all support me and follow me. And the same support from my coaches and just people who end up watching the races. It's a big confidence boost and a big motivator to know that there are people who I may never have met who can come up to me and say, good job, keep up the hard work and so on. It definitely helps to motivate me and just keeps me fueled to improve as I go on.
Our final athlete in the spotlight is Luke McIntyre.
And that's it from us for tonight. Remember to tune in tomorrow for BSAC live from 9 o'clock here on TV8 and also on 98.1 FM. On behalf of the entire team, do enjoy the rest of your evening.